Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 7. We're a week into May and moving pretty quickly, and the end of the year is just around the corner. So I hope that you are finding your work to be manageable and you're getting excited for summer, which is going to be here before we know it. For this week's video, I wanted to just give you a few reminders about how we are working with our course, how we're using Schoology, just to, make sure that we're all on the same page here as we finish out these last few weeks of school. So I made a list of things that I wanted to mention to you and remind you about. So just make sure, I'm hoping that everybody's watching these videos and listening to what I'm saying to you, because I want to give you feedback so that you are finding our course to be accessible and easy to navigate as we finish out the year. So the first thing I wanted to remind you to do is please make sure that every week, one of the first things you're doing is checking the updates. I will post announcements. I will post any updates with due dates. I'll post reminders. So any of those day-to-day announcements will be on the updates page. The next thing I want you to really please remember that you're doing is reading the schedule that I put into each week's folder. So when you go to the materials tab, so if you're looking at your Schoology page, you'll see down the left-hand side, there's an updates tab and materials. So in there, you'll find our weekly folder. At the very top, it'll always say schedule, read first. So when you open that, in there, you'll always find the assignments that are due for that week. I always post the due dates. I usually post a description of what you should be doing. So if you are ever unsure about due dates for things, please make sure that you're checking that schedule. It's there to help you keep yourself organized so that you have sort of like a checklist for what you're supposed to do from Monday to Friday. So once you have read through the schedule, you should see everything that you'll need in that week's folder. I know I've mentioned this, but there's still some confusion about where to find things. So anything that you will need, whether it's a resource or a link to an assignment or a link to the online text, everything that you'll need is in the current week's folder. So you shouldn't have to go through any of the other folders on Schoology, unless of course you're going back to the previous week to finish any assignments that may still remain in that folder. But for the most part, any reading guides are moved to the current week. The text is moved. It's an updated schedule. So I'm trying to keep it that you have to sift through as few folders as possible. Next note I wanted to bring up to you is to try to space out your work. So I obviously can see when people submit work. One thing that I have found helpful, when I was a student and even as a teacher, is that when you do a little bit at a time, it feels a lot less overwhelming. So when I give you an assignment on Monday, you might think, oh, I have until Friday to get this finished and turned in. Waiting until late on a Friday night might not be the best approach. If it works for you and you've been doing okay with it, go for it, that's fine. But I think that maybe if you have found yourself to be struggling, sit down and get a little bit of it done, a little bit of each assignment done each day. I think that you'll end up finding that to make you feel a lot less stressed as the end of the week rolls around and you're realizing, oh boy, I have to read and I have questions to answer. Plus it gives you more time throughout the week to ask me questions and to reach out to me if you're struggling with anything. The next note, and this is a really, really important one that I really want to stress to you, is that it is so important that you are doing your own work and not finding your answers word for word from sources on the internet. That's plagiarizing. I know that there are lots of resources out there and sometimes it can be overwhelming to have an assignment and maybe you feel like you don't have enough time to do it. So you think I'm just going to scramble and find answers on a Quizlet or on a website where maybe somebody has posted questions that are the same as the questions that I give you. It's great to use resources to support you and let you check to see that you're getting the correct answers and that you're sort of hitting the mark. But copying word for word the answers from a source is never a good idea. I am able to notice when the writing is not matching your writing. So please, if you are feeling stuck on an assignment and you maybe are just needing a little bit more time to finish something, please just reach out to me. I am so much more happier to help you if you're struggling than I am to have to email you and say, this assignment was copied, you're going to receive a 0 unless you do it again in your own words. So I understand that this is overwhelming and that sometimes you just sort of like panic in the moment, but I can't stress enough that it's really important that you are doing your own work. I can tell when you're doing your own work, and it means it's a lot more meaningful when I can tell that you've at least tried as opposed to just copying and pasting from somewhere else. So from here on out, as we finish out the year, do your own work. Consult with friends if you want to FaceTime your friends or message your friends, and if you're stuck with something. But again, make sure that you are all putting your work into your own words, because I can very often tell when it's being copied from person to person or from website to person. So this is, if you're not doing this, then this message, you can just take it with a grain of salt. But if this is something that you're struggling with, then just let's from here on out, try to avoid doing that. That is pretty much it. I want to make sure that you are, on the same page as me as we finish out the year. All of your work is on the schedule this week, so please make sure that you are checking the schedule and asking me questions, letting me know if you need more time, letting me know if you need me to explain anything further. We're starting a new unit this week in our academic classes, so make sure that you are reading through the notes. Our honors classes are continuing reading To Kill a Mockingbird, so this week's combined video is just sort of giving you some helpful tips as we move forward. So continuing to thank you all for doing really excellent work and really pushing yourselves to do the best that you can do under these circumstances. It's supposed to warm up this week, so if it's nice out, make sure you give yourselves a little break between your assignments and enjoy the sunshine, enjoy your family. And as always, if you have questions, let me know, and I look forward to continuing working with you. Thank you very much and have a great week. As always, here is a little snippet of my dog. We decided to play dress up this week, so I hope that you enjoy as much as I did when I got to film this queen.
Did you get it? Oh, you're so handsome.
Hey, look at Bronny.
Bronny, look at sister.
Oh, he's a good boy.